it is time for another keynote before we break for lunch. How many of you were at the Aftermarket Business Platform in October? I know quite a few came to that. Yeah, okay. So we had a gentleman who works as a chief service officer, and he asked told the crowd that one of the things, he normally goes in and transforms organizations that are bought by private equity firms. That's his job, and he gets the position chief service officer. One of the things that he has learned is that service is valued at 3 times higher than the product. So you get, if you get $1 for the product, you get at least 3 for services. We've spoken about service revenue today. Many of you have as much as 50% of your revenues tied up in services, but how is your profitability on those? So I'm very, very happy to actually have Johan Lunabba here on our stage today, who's going to walk us through where sustainability meets profitability. I said the word private equity. You're owned by private equity. You would walk us through that. But here is the Ahlstrom pathway to product sustainability. So please give him a hand.
Hey, so nice to be here. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. It's Lisa asked if I was out late in the Stockholm night. That's not the case. I have a little bit of flu, and that's why I'm losing the voice a little bit, but I think we'll manage. So super nice to be here. I come from this company called Ahlstrom. We are a specialty materials company, so we make multiple different products. I'll explain shortly about those. I think our company has an interesting history. So we have been around since 175 years already, but I think the latest turn was maybe the most interesting one. So we used to be a listed company, but a few years ago we were bought out from the stock exchange by a private equity company called Bain Capital, and they really saw this opportunity also to make more money to them by leveraging sustainability and focusing on product sustainability in particular. So I will talk a little bit about those lessons that we have learned together with Bain Capital. This is just our company in a nutshell. So we are a 3 billion euro company. Our headquarters is in Finland still. That might change in the next coming years. Most of our business nowadays is in North America, then Europe, Asia, and South America. And we make our products in 37 different plants across the globe. Here, just a flavor of our product portfolio. So altogether, we have approximately 6,000 products in our catalog, so a lot of products. And I think the interesting thing about Ahlstrom is that we occupy these niche businesses. So the niche is so small that the big players don't bother to come in, but we are big enough so that we can dominate that niche. So that's basically the space that we play in. And just to give you a few examples, so most of our products, they actually align quite nicely with sustainability trends. So for instance, there we clean air and water. So most likely in some of these filters that are cleaning the air in this room are made from filter media produced by Ahlstrom. That could be one of our products. If you go to a hospital and you hopefully you don't have to go there, but if a surgeon is doing some operation on you, the gown that he is wearing might be made from Ahlstrom materials. So it's protecting the doctor and the patient. And then, for instance, in construction, we have multiple different solutions. So also I know that under these tiles here on the floor, there's a thin layer of glass fiber tissue that is making sure that the form of these tiles is consistent and doesn't change with the weather or temperature. So that thin layer of glass fiber tissue might be made from, I think in this case, by Ahlstrom. So 6,000 products all together, but we occupy these niches, and the materials that we produce are highly specialized. So that's typically what we are known for. Then, what do our customers ask from us? So I think the first thing why they turn to us is that they want high-performing materials. So they are not looking for commodities, but they are looking for really high-performance technical materials. That's the first thing. Then the second thing that they ask for is, of course, value for money. So we really need to demonstrate that every day that we are the choice to them, whether it's by price, performance, these technical specifications, innovation, other service models that we can help our customers with. That's the second thing that our customers are asking from us. Then the third element, and it goes in this order. So first technical capabilities, then value for money, and the third one is sustainability. So typically our customers ask for a lower carbon footprint. They want us to reduce, let's say, a specific chemical for them, and they want this kind of support from us. So I think what we have quickly learned is that in our case, it's not about maximizing any of these three elements, the technical aspects, the price or sustainability. It's really about finding the optimal solution that makes sense for the customer. So it's really a exercise of optimization rather than maximizing anything. And then, oops, now there's something strange with well, it doesn't matter. So how we do this, how we link sustainability into this optimization game. So we always start with what is it that the customer wants in terms of sustainability, what adds value to the customer, and then we work our way customer back along the value chain up to the supplier. So we ask what the customer wants, what do they desire, what are they really willing to pay for, can we produce that stuff in our factories or our plants as we call them, and do we have the right supply base that can help us to deliver the value to the customer. And we apply this framework called Safe and Sustainable by Design. It's not our invention, it's something invented by the EU Commission, and there's a formal framework for complying with this method. But we look at sustainability from the start to the end of the value chain, whether it's about lowering the carbon footprint or reducing chemicals. And in order for us to deliver the solution in a cost-effective way to the customer, we obviously need to work with our value chain partners. And a bit more about this. I know some of these slides will be a little bit detailed, so I will do a lot of pointing and guide your eye along the way, but bear with me. It's also a little bit like testing our cognitive abilities, but I'm sure we'll do fine. So just the concept of safe and sustainable by design in a nutshell, it consists of two specific parts. So the first one there is safe by design, so it's really about product safety and typically about chemicals. So what kind of chemicals do we use in our products or in our operations? Are they hazardous? How do these chemicals interact with each other? What kind of chemical residues might there be in the end product? These kind of things. And we measure everything. We have data on everything and we measure everything. So the product safety aspect is given a score from 1 to 5. 1 meaning bad, 5 meaning great. And this is really a binary scale, so it's either good or bad. So if you have hazardous chemicals like fluorochemicals, for instance, in the product, then it's bad and it's scored low on this score. Then we have the other aspect is sustainable by design. So this is really a relative score when we compare our product to reference products out there on the market. So do, for instance, our product come with a lower carbon footprint than the reference product? How does the end of life of the product look like for our product compared to the competing ones? And if we do great, if we outperform competition, we get a score of 5. If we are really bad from sustainability perspective, then we get the score 1. And then it all comes together, so you take the product safety, add that to product sustainability, divide it by 2, and if the score is above 3.5, then the product can be classified as a safe and sustainable by design product in accordance with this EU guidance called Safe and Sustainable by Design. Getting a neutral score doesn't necessarily mean that the product is bad from sustainability perspective, but it's not considered a safe and sustainable product by design. Okay, now we go to the deep end of the pool. So here you see this is I think this is data from our baseline year, which was 2021, and we classified or scored all our products, all our 6,000 products based on this safe and sustainable by design score from 1 to 5, and that's what you see there on the x-axis. So 1 bad, 5 great. Here we also looked at how these products align with key sustainability trends. So for instance, are we reducing plastics, which is a key trend for us? The more we do that, the higher we end up here on this y-axis. The size of the circle, so these are products or product families. And the size of that circle is approximately, well, the reference there is approximately 100 million euros of sales. And we don't measure products as such, but we measure sustainable sales. So we really want to measure this in euros or other financial metrics. And what we see here in this picture is that when we did this mapping, 35% of our products got a score of very high, 4 or 5, so meaning that they are great from sustainability perspective and most likely outperform the reference product out there in the market. So really, really strong products from sustainability perspective. Then we have a big chunk here in the middle where we are, well, close or equal to the reference product. So we don't differentiate by any way from sustainability perspective. Then we have products here that are really crap from sustainability perspective. And well, fabric care here, for instance, you know this little piece of cloth that you put in the washing machine to keep the blue shirt blue and red red. That's the product. I mean, it's super convenient, but when we produce it, we use a lot of hazardous chemicals, extremely hazardous chemicals. You can't recycle that product. I mean, it's small, harmless, but it ends up in the landfill, and from there it causes then all kinds of problems to the environment. So that could be an example of a really bad product. Any questions about this? We can have the discussion later. I know it's a little bit complicated, but I'm coming to the point soon. So we do this mapping every year to see how our products move in this kind of scatter plot. And what we really realized, and I will tell you why soon, that this is the business that we want to grow, the one that is here in this square number 1. And I'll come to the why soon. The square 2 here is a call for action for our R&D and innovation. So if we can improve these products somehow by, let's say, substituting a hazardous chemical with a less dangerous one, it might move there to square 1. That's a great thing. If you can reduce the carbon footprint, it moves, great. So that's really something that our R&D and innovation product development folks are focusing on. And then we have these products that are really problematic from sustainability perspective. And on daily basis, we have serious discussions that if we can't improve these products, we need to stop producing those. And some of them, actually this fabric care, it was quite a profitable product. And many ask us that, okay, how do you do these discussions? I mean, how do you sunset a product or product family that is profitable for the company? And well, selling drugs is profitable, but we should not do it. We should not do it. I mean, we can do something better with our time and our machines and our raw materials. But really now coming to the point why this makes sense to focus on block number 1 there. And sorry for the complicated slide. I know also the text is a little bit small, but I'll walk you through. So here on this side of the picture, you see here, first of all, on the x-axis, we have the safe and sustainable by design score. So here, 1 meaning bad, longer there meaning good. And here we have the EBITDA margin of specific products. And what we see very clearly is that the higher the score, the more sustainable the product is, the better EBITDA margin it generates. And the correlation here, it's statistically significantly very strong. So in this case, 45% of the variation between these variables are explained by the sustainability of the products. And to give you a little bit of perspective, so the correlation between lung cancer and smoking cigarettes, it's less than 30%. And here the correlation is 45%. I don't think no one questions that smoking cigarettes is bad for you and it might cause cancer. So this statistical correlation is extremely strong, just mathematically. The second one there is same kind of correlation, but with the sustainability score and margin over variable cost. Also here indicating that the stronger the sustainability performance or the score of the product, the higher sales margins basically we get from the products. Again, the correlation strength is 50%, meaning that 50% of this variation is delivered by sustainability of the products. And after we realized this, the questioning was, it stopped in our company. So everybody now, I mean, when they see the data, we have now data since 21, it all points the same direction. No one is questioning that we should focus on the square number 1, which I showed you there a couple of slides ago. So it just makes sense from business perspective. There's no question about that. And our CFO is almost on daily basis asking, like, how are we moving on that scatter plot? Are we moving fast enough? What kind of actions do we have in place to accelerate that? And we also have quite positive early indications that the growth rate of these products that are sustainable by design, it's double digit compared to the not sustainable ones, which are single digit ones. So that this part of the business, which is sustainable, is generating better EBITDA, generating better sales margins, but also that part of the business is growing significantly faster than the part that is not so sustainable. Here just a few examples on products that are safe and sustainable by design. This first one is called K-Cup, so it's the Nespresso of US. So basically these coffee capsules that you put in the machines and then you get your coffee brewed. And typically also Nespresso, it's made out of aluminium. Yes, you can recycle that in theory. Maybe 30% is recycled, 70% is lost. Our product is made out of paper. You can recycle that. We can recycle that actually for our customers. But if you don't have access to recycling infrastructure, it will decompose. It's all bio-based, no harmful chemicals in that product. So there is that sustainability benefit in it. Maybe I give you just another one there. You can see the French fries there. So this product is really benefiting the customer by so when you fry your French fries in a restaurant, you want to extend the lifetime of that oil as much as possible because it's a cost, but there's also sustainability impact. And with our filters, we can lengthen the lifetime of that oil with up to 75%. So that's like the sustainability benefit and also commercial benefit then to our customers. And just to give you a view on how we are moving forward here with safe and sustainable by design products. So we started in 21 when we did our first measurement, and we realized that yes, 45% of our total net sales is coming from products that are living up to these standards. Then in this first horizon, we really worked hard on lowering our carbon footprint because we are also committed to science-based targets. But we also realized that while doing that, our customers will benefit from a lower carbon footprint of the products. So here in this period, I think we have invested like maybe 300 million euros on decarbonizing our plants. Then now we are here in this second horizon. Actually this year, 66% of our group sales comes from products that are sustainable. That's approximately 2 billion euros in our case. And in this second horizon, we are really focusing on substituting chemicals, moving from the hazardous ones to the not so hazardous ones. And then Horizon 3, we have set up these innovation platforms that are there really to accelerate this development so that we meet our ambition, which would be to achieve at least 80% of our total sales coming from these kind of products that are good for the planet. And then maybe to close this by just a few lessons that we have learned. So first of all, data really drives credibility and also change. And we are now owned by this private equity company that is extremely focused on numbers and data. I mean, we can have interesting opinions and there's interesting discussions, but if we don't have data to show these kind of correlations, I mean, then I'm just another guy with an interesting opinion, but that's basically it. Then what we also learned is that this, I mean, we all want to get rewarded by having like great sustainable products. And it's really an exercise how you price in that sustainability element so that the customer understands the value of that. And we just learned that like this kind of cost plus pricing model doesn't work. So you really need to help the customer understand the total value of what they get if they work together with us. Then, yeah, when I discuss with our sales, they always complain to me and say that our customers are not willing to pay, and then I show them the statistics and say that, hey, actually they are. So if I would be our customer, I would also say that I'm not paying you anything for this, but actually I'm doing that. I mean, we have the statistics to show that. But I think what we learned is that I'm not sure even if a green premium as such exists, or at least we have this wishful thinking that it's like huge numbers. But in our case, at least, anything above 5% on top of the price, if it's like sustainability driven, doesn't fly. But it really comes with scale. So in our case, if we get, so we are a 3 billion euro sales company, if we get 2% on top of the price, if that's the premium, in our case it's 60 million euros. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I take that any day and twice on Sunday, but it's really the scale. So we don't anticipate or expect to get like massive overinflated premium prices because we focus on sustainability. But if we get a little bit more, couple of percentages, that's good enough for now, and it really helps the company also to grow. And this is also why we believe that sustainability is a genuine growth driver for Ahlstrom. But I'll stop here. I'm out of time. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you for that. Any questions? Oi, 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 oi. Okay, we've cancelled lunch. No.
Great presentation. One question. Are these targets, the share of safe and sustainable product by design is embedded into LTI of the group management?
Yes, that is. And also, so we employ 7,000 people altogether, and approximately 1,500 out of them have short-term incentive targets. And this is part of the target. So the more we do, the more we are rewarded. Yeah.
The targets, it's very difficult to drive that.
Yeah. And in our case, I mean, it's not so difficult to drive that because it's just better business.
Correct.
So it's not so difficult to convince that, hey, sales folks, I mean, have a look at this.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, doing business is good, but doing a good business is better.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Great presentation. I just wanted to understand a little bit more why your customers are choosing the SSBD products that are like higher up on the scale. Why are they prepared to pay a little bit more or choose that one? Is that driven by regulation or their customers, or?
I think that's a really good question, and I don't have the full answer there. So the customers want something like there's a variation. Some of them want a little bit lower carbon footprint because they have set SBTi targets. Some of them want to meet some regulatory requirement or future-proof their portfolio from regulatory perspectives. Others might want it for a third reason. So there's really like a bucket of things that they are looking for. So, and that's also why I think our job is to make sure that we meet the specifications, we meet the cost, and we also meet then the sustainability perspective and try to like find the optimal balance for the customer so that we can deliver the solution cost effectively so that we can scale. But they are asking for different things, and in our case, as mentioned, no one is willing to pay more than 5% on top of the price for sustainability. That's a fact. Yeah, but they want different things. Yeah, so far, yeah.
But can I ask a follow-up question there? So the margin contribution, we saw that. I was also thinking the same. Is it because they pay more, but you said they really don't, because 5% extra is a little bit too inflated?
They might pay 2 or 3%
2 or
more.
3%. But then is it the actual production of it that is more cost efficient?
Good observation. And in our case, I mean, which was a big surprise for us because we thought that buying sustainable ingredients or raw materials to our recipes, it's more expensive.
Yeah, that would.
But that's not the case. That's not the case. I mean, we find these cheaper, more sustainable raw materials, which I don't think that we are unique, but I think we are in a lucky position that we can do that. But yeah, it's really driven by cost.
Okay, good, thank you. Any questions here? Yes.
Hi, Johan. I'm Hanna from Kone, and thank you. Great presentation. It really shows that change is happening, and that's what is so exciting. Congratulations. Now you think of you're at 2 billion. I don't think you can grow 3% I think you need to grow 10%. So what will you face when the board is telling you, no, that's not enough, now we need to speed? Can you explain what will happen then next?
Yeah, that's a good question. So now we are a 3 billion euro company. Two-thirds come from products that are safe and sustainable by design. We have this target of achieving at least 80% by 2030. And I think we have picked the low-hanging fruits already. So decarbonizing, that's one thing. Of course, that continues for a long time. We are figuring out how to substitute chemicals from bad to better. And the next one is really to leverage the innovation capabilities that we have, but potentially also service. I mean, we have seen these take-back models. I mean, that could be one thing to add new business to us. So we have not discovered that yet. We have focused so much on building this kind of foundation. But it's a question that I get asked. And a couple of weeks ago, there was a board meeting where I got to attend, and this was exactly the question. So how do you get to the 80% a little bit bigger, because that's the better business of Ahlstrom. But I think, it's a joint effort. So everybody in the company needs to work for the same target, and we are not there yet. So we have been a little bit incubating this in our small, lean and mean sustainability team, but now we are expanding so that we onboard procurement, onboard sales, onboard marketing. I think that's how we then get the traction and hopefully then also higher shares, but remains to be seen. It's an interesting challenge. I mean, really exciting challenge.
Question?
Yes, this is Wolfgang from Brenntag Chemical Distribution, and I have a question regarding the baddies. So if you had your score, those that had the low sustainability performance, and in the chemicals we face the same issue. We have really nasty products, and we would also get rid of them, and we face endless discussions of, but my customer goes elsewhere, and. Two questions. How are you implementing the exit? So do you have a program where you give products a sunset date? And how are you moderating, let's say, the discussion with customers, convincing them that from a certain date they will likely not be having the product? Or are you only phasing out products where you have immediately a better, from a sustainability performance alternative available?
Yeah, also brilliant question. And I think maybe something to mention here that we copied a little bit the chemical industry when applying the safe and sustainable by design framework. I mean, you guys are much more advanced in that, and we just figured that hey, this might also fit our little business and our industry. So thanks for your industry for inspiration, first of all. So those discussions are hard. So typically it's easier in a privately owned company where you can really force decisions and you don't have to democratize everything. So our owners, I mean, they have this playbook and they play by that, and they are ruthless also in pushing decisions through. So typically, in that fabric care case, for instance, we didn't have a replacing product, but we just saw that that's so bad from the environmental perspective that we just need to stop that. And then we lost that business. But now it has actually been replaced by other stuff. So typically the discussion is such that let's say that we figure out that we have these red flag products, and there is, let's say, 20 million euro sales or 10 million euro revenues at stake. Then it's really a call for action to the business that, okay, how do you make up for this? Figure that out. Come back when you have a solution. And they have to do it. Like, it's really forced. So so far they have been able to be quite innovative and find alternatives. And sometimes it might take a couple of years. For instance, in the medical business, it's very difficult to replace one chemical with another because of the product specification and the regulation. It could take 10 years to get there. So of course we need to be a little bit patient there, but it's really the business that needs to figure out. So sustainability gives like this target that this is what we think that you should do. Then it goes up to the executive management team and to the board. They decide, then we do it. And sometimes we lose business, but so far we have not. I think it's a calculated leap of faith. It's not jumping completely into the blind, but also we take a little bit of risk because we have seen that the box number one, it's just more profitable business for us in the long run. So we kind of all believe in that, and then we take these kind of calculated risks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess it's also about focus, right? So, you know, you focus on the box 1, box 2.
Yeah.
Then you also don't dilute people's focus on box 3 products, if you know what I mean. It takes a lot of bandwidth as well to
Yeah.
manage these kind of products.
Yeah.
Give Johan a hand. It is time for lunch.